being veiled. It's behind a veil. They're trying to hide it, and unfortunately, they cannot keep this smokescreen up for long. They can't do it. They can't do it. It's going to come down. And it's because of people like A.C. Griffith and Henning Kemner who are doing this work and are putting forth the effort and getting this information out that are going to make the difference in the end. It's going to make the difference in the end. You know, Einstein, he was no college grad. He wasn't a Oxford scholar, Rhodes scholar. He wasn't anything like that. But he had the drive. And the theory of relativity came, and there we go. And the rest is history. And it's because of people like that's where we are now. And so thank you, Henning, and thank you, Griff, for fighting the fight, especially for the truth. And so I would like to continue the conversation by saying, where do you guys think we go from here? Not just as an evacuation, people should evacuate or anything like that, but what do you think this does for humanity and where we go from here? Go ahead, Griff.
I want to comment about what you just said.
Oh, by all means, go ahead. Go ahead.
On your website, it's Freedomlink, the word freedom. I noticed many other websites have the word freedom in their title. Freedom, freedom, freedom. It's all over the internet. But you know, you have to fight for freedom, and you have to kill for freedom. Many of the people don't know that. They think that freedom is a right, and it's there, and it'll always be there, and they don't have to do anything because they live in America, and freedom has always been with them, and that's the way it is. But I beg to differ. I was born in 1940, before the Second World War. As I have said many times, I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of attitudes, a lot of different people with different thinking, different life experiences. And I have that to fall back on, to make judgments and to have opinions about future things. History does repeat itself, and the Obama administration is a carbon copy, an overlay of the 1933 Adolf Hitler administration that came to power. Obama is doing exactly the same things as Hitler did, down to the youth corps, down to health benefits for the people. He's telling the people exactly, word per word, what Hitler told the people. Dodd, the old man Dodd, back after the Second World War, senator from, where was it, Connecticut, I guess his son's in there now. He's the one that copied the German papers, the documents on gun control, and brought them to America. He's many of the things that they've tried to push through Congress are exactly out of Adolf Hitler's files. And if you don't know history, you don't see that. You don't see what Obama's doing. But he knows very well what's going on in the Gulf, and BP knows. They have agendas. They're playing them out. And they are in the process of killing your children. Listen to me, everybody out there. They're in the process of killing your families and killing your children. Are you going to sit on your duffs and let this occur? Are you going to play by their rules? Are you going to write your congressman? The congressmen are part of the problem. Even the good congressmen are part of the problem. There is no difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. There's nowhere to go. This happened before in America. In the Revolution back in 1775, it was oppression from the king that caused a small handful of people to rise up, and they got their guns, and they went at it. In 1861, this is exactly what happened in 1861 when the South said no more, no more. It didn't have anything to do with slavery. Only perpetual victims today cry out, slavery, I'm oppressed, slavery, pay me. That's BS. The same thing happened in 1861 when 500,000 or more men took up arms against the government in Washington. All you have to do is study history and you'll see it. And it'll knock you off your chair when you realize we're doing the same thing over and over again. But the the only resolution to this is one thing, and that's the only resolution. Otherwise, you're going to die, and millions of people are going to die because we're going to sit back and let it happen. And that's what the people intend to do right now because they can't conceive. They're not listening. They don't realize how dangerous, how important it is to understand and to act on this. Everybody needs to act on it, or you'll die, and your families, and your children, and your grandchildren.
I think that the modern-day metrosexual American doesn't have the stomach for grabbing their granddaddy's 12-gauge shotgun down off the mantle and marching down Main Street, USA, angry and ready to take on BP, the government, or the UN, or anything else. I think that over the years, the American people, for one, have been chemically sterilized, lobotomized, and feminized. And you'll find very few people that are actually willing to go out and give their life for their country and for their life. Many people say it, but are they going to do it? Look at what's taking place now. We've got the Small Arms Treaty that Hillary signed that the Senate has to ratify. They're trying to get rid of our guns. They're attacking our constitutional rights left and right. And the American people and male sits back on his rear end in his lazy boy recliner, puts it on vibrate, cracks open a cold beer, and what's on TV tonight. And that's sad, and that's why we're in the condition that we're in, because nobody wants to do anything. It's not on my front door. It's not my problem. Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if this oil spill gets washed ashore during a hurricane and gets scooped up and gets rained on throughout the breadbasket, and if you look at the track of this hurricane, I could be way off here, but if this Gulf is toxic with this Corexit and all the other chemicals that they're spraying in here, if this hurricane goes up through the Gulf and goes up through Arkansas and Nebraska and the breadbasket of the United States, what's going to happen to next year's crop? What's going to happen to this year's crop? Hello?
That's a good point, John. And Henning, let me ask you this. Like right now in North Carolina, we're experiencing some extreme heat. And I mean, we haven't seen a summer like this, and I can't remember when we're talking about high 90s, 100 degrees every day. I know that many of the farmers here, the corn is burning up. And it's going to wreak a lot of havoc on not only their well-being, but of course the corn supply in this area. Now you couple that with Corexit. What do you think? I mean, as far as a food shortage is concerned, what do you think the impact of this Corexit is going to be on the food supply?
It will contaminate food supply, so it's non-edible. But on the other hand, the greatest danger is what I'm thinking when the storm has settled after the hurricane, that is that the soil, crop, and basically everything the rain has been in touch with is like a tinderbox. Just takes a spark, and we have a blaze. That is what I fear the most. That is, we will have a firestorm that will make the LA so-called fire look like war compared. It will be the entire South that will burn off if something unexpected happens.
And that's because of the That's because of the methane, you said?
No, it's also the Corexit is flammable. The benzene is extremely flammable. It is very explosive indeed, and it's also, of course, very toxic to breathe. It's, even getting on your skin has get permanent damage to yourself. So we're talking about it is not just a disaster. This is an apocalypse. That's what it is. What's taking place right now. There's absolutely nothing they can do to stop it, and they know that. They have kind of like telling the people through the disconnected media they are